And hey, everybody, welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat. How's everybody doing today, tonight, when and wherever you are? Um, this reaction video is completely random. I pulled up my Squatch Talk subscription page, and I'm just gonna kind of jump around and into different things that I see and notice, and try and find some meat and potatoes to like react to. Something I've been wanting to do, like sort of take it to the next level. I'll still do like actual video reactions, but I wanted to try this out before I kind of had the idea of doing this live, and so I wanted to try it out pre-recorded, kind of see how it went before I like jumped into the hey, let me completely, fly by the seat of our pants live. Um anyway, and speaking of live, there's a live stream that I may jump into if it's still going on. We'll see. I don't know that it's still happening. If not, I'll jump into it anyway. We'll start there and work our way down. So here we go. Let's go. Boom here, and let's see if these guys are still live. So they are. They are. This is Woodwalker's channel with a Z. Um, and let's see what they're talking about. They're still in their live stream. So yeah, let's jump right in. Like this is always pretty juicy. Oh no. Uh-oh. Come on, girl. You can do it.
It's just, we're a
There we
family
go.
and we like to think of it that way. And we've actually taken some hits here in the past couple of years, haven't we? Quite a few people already.
Hits. What kind of hits? What kind
Tell
of
the
hits?
people that you love, that you do care about them. Let them know. You never know.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Hold on a second.
personal
Look,
stuff.
hey, y'all, by the way, go get the books. And if you want a shirt, get a hold of Greg. Look here.
Oh boy.
Check these out.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can see. I can't even see it myself. Hold on.
Okay, they're fucking selling shit. Like I jump right into their live
Different
stream,
sizes, different colors. T-shirt, long sleeve.
which has been going
Get a hold
on
of him. Get you a
2
T-shirt.
hours
And y'all go get you
now.
books.
So
Let
I
us
guess they're
know
kind of
and
wrapping
post
up.
it after you read what you guys think about them or whatever. Don't give no details. Just let us know how you enjoyed them.
Yeah, that we're gonna get the shirts up where people can order them.
Oh, man.
One of them's kind of been busy, especially with.
Okay.
We're gonna try to get it up, if nothing else, on the Woodwalkers Facebook page, so people can order it. Like Abby said,
killing me
y'all got
already.
merch now, so I guess we do.
If you check out their
I'm
channel,
gonna bring
you'll
a bunch
see
of
this.
shirts to that Tennessee Wildman Conference. Invites around. Y'all come see us up there. I know Roger's gonna be there. Coonbo's gonna be there. I can't remember who all else. They're gonna be several.
All right, so this guy is peddling like he's really house. He's peddling the merch, right? Like, man, all right. So, again, that's chump change kind of stuff going on there. To sell merch is, it's not a multi-million-dollar business. But this is the guy that claims, this guy, House, he claims that Bigfoot, just lives, 1 or 2 miles down the street near where he lives, and he just talks about him so casually, like they're just right down there, like a kind of relationship or knowledge of an animal that you really couldn't even connect, to, like if you connected that to a like a black bear, and her cubs or something, That would be amazing. You know, that would be an amazing thing. But he almost talks about it in that way. Like, so just to point that out. And they're immediately merching it up over here at the end of their show. Oh yeah, I have to unmute them.
Intro video to work. I don't know what's going on with that. We're gonna have to figure this out before next week. But anyway, guys, from all of us,
Yep, they're wrapping
all
up.
of you, thank you very much. We will see you next week.
Catch that. Let's go back. Let's just go back. Let's go back. Let's go back about.
And looking at me like I don't want to leave Dad, but I don't want to let Robbie go. So
all smiles.
I really think that that night I believe it was a dog man that we ran into in Joe Bald, and I truly think it was trying to get us to split up.
Wow, that's man. How could you know that? Like, that's insane. But so they're talking about some encounter that happened, and notice like this guy, look at him, finger over the mouth, like all smiles. Like, what did he just say? Like, it was funnier than hell. Let's go back a little bit. What's so funny? Uh-oh, I screwed up.
Same-sex partners, but continue to live in the same.
Wait, hey, might want to stay on there. Like, who is that chick? It's because I got it.
It's just, we're a family.
All right.
And we like to think of it that way.
Oh, man.
We've actually taken some hits.
Let's go. Damn it. I lost it. Wow.
That's what's I mean, fun just going and
you could hear them coming in closer. We don't know how many
all right
of these two very broad-shouldered, like sloped head, duck right back behind a tree as soon as we lit it up. And I pointed at where I saw it, Doc's like, yeah, that's where it's at. So we shut the lights back off, and then Doc turns the thermal back on, and Robbie and I start moving closer, getting even farther away from the other two idiots on the bridge.
On the bridge. On the bridge. Yeah. What?
And then as we're going towards those, Doc starts scanning the area again. He actually sees the third one, the one he originally saw in the flash. What it was trying to get around.
I'm curious about
and come in behind and get in between me and DA and Doc and Noah. So when Doc sees that, it figures out what's going on. And he's like, "Boys, back here now! Come on, get back!" So DA turns back around. He says, "We got one trying to flank us. Y'all need to get back over here now." So,
whoa!
DA turns around to face them.
Like, so hey, get back. It's kind of like military, almost like kind of talk. We got one trying to flank us. Like, boy, that is incredible knowledge of situational awareness of these things actually moving. Is that realistic? I say no. There's no fucking way. If you're that good at knowing when you get close that you're getting flanked and you have to call people back because your situational awareness is so fucking off the charts good. Well, at that point, dude, you're an observer and you should be observing them, and you shouldn't be on a YouTube show or one of your buddies on a YouTube show talking about it. Like, this is next level kind of stuff, like if you're being flanked, then you're in hardcore observation mode. You're dealing with something that where it is, where it's moving and what it's doing. So does that make any sense with Bigfoot? Any sense at all?
Grabs a hold of my back. So we're both had our pistols drawn. So I'm walking backwards and he's guiding me so I can watch our back.
You ready to kill Bigfoot?
To the vehicle, and that's when the
then do it.
Don't lie stuff started happening because Doc was just.
And you could hear him splashing in the river because the river twists and turns through that valley. You could hear him crossing the river. What? You could hear him coming in closer. We don't know how many there were, but there were a bunch, and it got
That makes no sense. Like rivers, like what kind of river? I mean, rivers are kind of loud. Creeks are loud. Creeks are loud. Like I wouldn't hear, and this has happened before. I've had deer cross a creek, I don't know, within 40 feet of me. And I knew the deer was on this side of the creek. The only reason I knew that it crossed the creek was because it was gone. You know, I never heard it. Never heard it cross the creek. So if I can't hear a deer cross a creek 40 fucking feet away from me, how is it that you are hearing Bigfoot cross a river? Which should be, you know, like the same kind of power, like is, eh, you know, about the same power as a river. I mean, a creek, or more powerful than a creek in some cases. I mean, like, how are you hearing a river crossing?
Got uncomfortable enough, we decided to get in the truck and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until one of you's wind up pregnant by Bigfoot. Oh, wait, never mind.
I don't think that's going to happen either of us, but
There it is. There's the smiles and the laughter and the jokes. We decided to get the hell out of there. 5 seconds later, what? Weren't you looking for Bigfoot? Number one, weren't you looking for Bigfoot? Why would you decide to get out of there? And you're armed? Like, what are you worried about? I mean, you don't have a fucking 12, like maybe a 12 gauge. Like a pistol, that's one thing. I get that. I'd rather face down a black bear with a 12 gauge than a fucking pistol. I can tell you that. But still. Like, why, like 10 seconds later, ha 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 ha. Always the laughter kills me. I mean, does anybody else notice this? It's very common in all the shows. Just dial up a random Bigfoot show and you'll see, look at this. Look at this. All smiles. Ha ha ha. We had to get the hell out of there. Ha ha ha. It's funny. House is a little more like, you know, but it's funny. Look how funny it is. We had pee-pee pants time and had to get the hell out of there.
I still don't want to, play big spoon, little spoon with Uckmuck.
If you were walking towards them and getting that close, I'm surprised you didn't get zapped. You didn't feel anything?
Yeah, because that's a thing.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, because everyone knows the data is in. They zap people. Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah, that's true.
We know that. We prove it.
That's exactly right. Thermal's a lot better than regular photos, because guess what? The thermal takes out the pareidolia.
Well, it was so profound, Doc, because he saw that was a helmet mounted, and he couldn't, he didn't have a way to slave it to anything. But that moment was so profound to him. He went out and spent what, $400, I think,
to get a recordable thermal.
Get a handheld unit that you can.
Well, and the body heat was really standing out because this was in late January when we did this. So it was cold. There was frost on the ground. There was ice in the water. The thermal was standing out because the outside ambient temperature was probably 38.
Thermal don't lie. Yeah. All of the that's why quite a few of us.
It depends on how professionally trained you are.
You can control it remotely from a tablet or your phone, and you can also record it on the phone, and you can adjust so one person can be walking up ahead, the other person can be back 100 feet and still seeing
all
what
very ideal. All this
idealistic
boots on the ground ideas
time.
That nobody.
Something else about the thermals, though, that should be pointed out. A lot of people. Everybody always thinks that thermals only work during nighttime. They work during the daytime just as well. Not as good in summer, but they work during the daytime and nighttime. and way different than night vision. Night vision nowadays, I don't know why anybody would even waste. I shouldn't say that. It's better to have night vision than to have nothing at all. But there is a world of difference between thermal and night vision. Even like Greg said, the pareidolia, you can still get pareidolia with the night vision, just like you can.
Like he's going to be shocked
with your naked eye, but the thermal, I mean,
he's going to be shocked that I'm in agreement with him. I actually agree with Spence,
find it
probably
fascinating
more than
how
I
many
disagree
people
with
talk
him.
about they couldn't
It's just
see
the
something
stuff
with
we
their naked
disagree
eye,
on,
but could see it on
like
their
is,
phone or a camera. There's something
very
weird going on with that. I don't quite understand it, but I've seen it firsthand, so I know it's true.
Well, look at the Paul Freeman footage. That Bigfoot is moving,
What about it?
and it stops in front of a tree and just disappears.
Yeah.
And as soon as it realizes he's still coming, it starts moving, and you can see it again.
Yep.
Yeah, but the Paul Freeman footage is a hoax. Like, undoubtedly a hoax. Like, that's not real. That's not a real Bigfoot. It can never be proved to be real, but it can be like shown to be why it's not real. And that's already happened. Paul Freeman is an admitted hoaxer. Admitted hoaxer, okay? Who his hoaxing goes back into the 80s. And the video he put out before the Freeman footage, as you call it, was like laughably an attempt at a hoax. And thank God it made it into the YouTube sphere where it lives now, and you can watch it and go, oh yeah, that guy's full of shit.
Yeah, we talked about adaptive camouflage.
So it's not real.
How many deer?
So they're talking about something that's
that you
not
didn't
real.
see them moving first.
Oh yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah, they just
pop
out 20 yards
all
in
the
front.
connecting dots and shit. Like things that are accepted as
you didn't see a damn thing till it moved.
That aren't.
And you know, the other thing about the thermal is people can say all day long. Personally, I've never seen proof myself of them cloaking. I'm open to the possibility that they can do it. I do think that there's a higher likelihood that they can mess with your brain or your mind and make you
that's just
not
supernatural.
Realize what you're looking at whenever you're looking at them. But
like
again, the thermal,
your counter to the floating
heat
is
signature. I mean, there's no discrepancy. That's a real living thing whenever you're looking at it through thermal and you're seeing it move. So the countless benefits of having a thermal.
Thermal is for finding.
Everybody should have.
Like, again, how many times do I have to say this? Broken record, I know. Thermal is for finding. Camera is for filming. They're two different things that two different jobs. Thermal finding, camera filming.
And if you guys are going out in teams like that and you're getting 50 yards apart, you need to have more than one, jackasses.
Well, you know,
I think Stacey Brown is legitimate.
Nope. Fake.
You know, something to be said for smarts, and me and DA never said we had any of those.
We ain't the brightest bulb in the pack. In fact, we've got.
Then why the fuck are you the guys looking for the most amazing discovery and most amazing biological discovery in human history? Like, don't we need the smart people for that? You know, I mean, like here's where they're kind of showing themselves, right? They're like, well, they're being so humble and like, well, we ain't the smartest people in the room, whatever, right? It's like, well, then you're not the guys. So what that means is you're actually not the guys, which means that you're never close to a Bigfoot, never have been, never will be. Because it's going to take the smartest guys in the room, and I'm talking the highest level, to actually find an undiscovered primate. Now, again, if you're a wizard, if you're telling me that you're a wizard, with you guys with your beards are wizards and you're conjuring them up through spells, well, that's a different discussion. But I believe you. You know, I'm not saying you're dum-dums, but like, you're not smart enough to find Bigfoot. I believe you.
Got into some places that were pretty hairy. Right before we went into Combs Ferry, my wife looks at us. She goes, "I don't care what happens to you two morons, but you bring my baby home."
All smiles. There's the laughter.
That's what's
Oh,
I mean,
Yep.
fun just going and
There's
not taking off after anything or checking stuff
Just
out.
all
I mean,
the
ain't
laughter.
that right,
man.
Robbie? You gotta wander off.
Why is it
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny?
I
Now
mean,
look, Misty's the ultimate wanderer. You have to keep an eye on her because she'll just be like zoned in. And I don't think sometimes she realizes her feet's moving. It's just like she just starts wandering away.
Well,
Robbie,
Robbie has a tendency of doing that. That's why my son Noah has the nickname the official Robbie Wrangler.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump ahead.
But I'm
I'm about
All
done
right.
with
So
this,
it did
guys.
have something living
Mhm.
that was like bent
Yeah.
over and stuff was
It's
woven into
picture-
that.
it's like if you got all these living ones that are
Ooh,
back behind here,
tree
and they were all
structure.
pulled together. And then to make it more dense, there was just what Dave was talking about. There's other stuff that had been
And
woven.
those were Missouri bramble bushes. Those aren't, you don't mess with those.
So
Did-
while we're sitting there talking, I'm still in here, and DA standing up in front of me, and I'm down on my fist because I'm talking. I said, yeah, if I'm sitting here waiting like this, for something to come around, I said, you can't see from either side. And I happened to look down just to see how wide my stance was.
Nice
and when I did, I was like,
imagination you got there.
It's all raked.
and no, it wasn't. But
It wasn't.
I raked the leaf out of the way, and I hear DA said, "No, you didn't." And I said, I backed up. I said, "What does that look like right there?" And for DA, because he's saying Noah's like a big ass dog print, and I don't have the
Okay,
knife that I
yeah,
actually had
they
late, but
started talking about
The
dog
Jolly
meat.
Roger house. The Jolly Roger knife from Scallywag.
which is about
Yeah.
that big. I laid that Jolly Roger down beside it, and it's the blue handle one. I laid it down beside
Yeah.
it, and that track was like this is the Jolly Roger here. The track was
Wow.
like bigger than the knife.
Okay.
Dang.
How
Well,
big?
Robbie, did it look just like kind of like round, like a
That's what
like
you
a dog track? Was it
Yes.
long or what?
It looked, it was identical to what you would see on any dog. It was just,
The base
it's
pad
like-
seemed a little bigger, but
Was the base pad further back or elongated?
the base pad seemed wider than.
that's just
Hair.
bad
There
news.
was no smell inside there or anything like that. No bones or anything laying in there.
Not that I saw.
no, I don't
That
I don't
saw.
remember smell because that was in the winter time too. And
Why would you say not that I saw? Did you not look thoroughly enough for fucking bones? Like, like again, red flag. Not that I saw. Like, what is he implying? That there was something more to be seen? I don't know. It's just like stuff like that really sticks out to me. Like, why would you say not that I saw? When the answer is no. No, there weren't. We were in this like little area and I saw no bones. Why wouldn't you just say, nope, I didn't see anything like that. It wasn't there. We looked around for all kinds of things, right? Because we're Bigfoot researchers and investigators. We looked around for we didn't see any bones. Like, the knot that I saw leaves the possibility that, yeah, Spence, it could have been there. You see what I mean? Like, just odd stuff like that. Like, it's little things like that that jump out to me that make these reaction videos like so good.
November. It was in
Yeah,
November that
so-
first year you came down.
I don't remember any distinct smell.
But the night before, we'd seen eye shine about 8-9 feet off the ground in that area.
And this is
Wow.
not far from where he did the Joe Ball breakdown video, where they
Man,
where he's talking and you see that canine figure in the tree behind him when he's down there doing the book promotion.
See,
This is
no,
like literally
they're talking about dog.
20 yards from there.
Yeah.
They're going, miles.
No more than 75 yards from where that was at.
Yeah, it's right there in that same area. Also, we found the
75 yards. So that's, a couple 100 feet, a little more.
what looked like the front license plate had been ripped off of a car, and it was brand new. Like it had been just like 2 months old. So somebody got down there and got the front plate ripped off their car. Don't know how, but it was a brand new plate, like 2 months old.
Okay. What does that have to do with Bigfoot?
Agree, Buster and Phyllis. Y'all can have the damn dog man.
The dog man narrative.
So if I go up there and we go with DA and them to check on that place, you ain't going with me and Misty?
I would go just to be able to see it. I don't care nothing about cats. Man.
Well, that's right. That's Captain. You'll be okay.
Bad kitty, that's my pie.
Yeah.
Mr. Be like the old bulldog, Tom and Jerry. All right.
Again, like the personal banter, the smiles, the laughs, like this is so obviously is what it is. It's nothing more than a people thing. This is not it has nothing to do with Bigfoot. Dogman's not real. Bigfoot's probably not real in some way. It like, come on, guys. Like, do you see? It's just people talking shit to each other, basically. Whether they believe it or not, like, again, they could just believe it. They could be out there in the woods and think that, they're dealing with Dogman or whoever, Bigfoot stuff. Let's go back and let's find a new one. I'm done with him. But, like, do you see? It's a people thing, man. Bigfoot is not involved. All right, so there was a couple of others, like, this might, that might be it. Okay, I was gonna flirt with this, but there was another one. Yeah, not everything on this feed is Bigfoot. Obviously, you can see some other things. All right, so where there was, just give me a second. Gosh darn it! Not that, and not that. Where is? There was an unredacted. I wanted to like pull up and see where the hell it went. What the hell is this? Maybe this. Oh, okay. Let's do a random of this, and then I'll go back. There's a couple others. Get past the banter.
He put it best. He said to me just recently, he's like, if you hadn't been there to see it too, I never would have said anything to another person. I said, I feel the exact same way. Because I always wondered, and is my mind playing tricks on me? And he would say, no, I saw it too. And that was the thing, was every time we talk about it, we both agree we saw it. It stood up, it walked. It was 2-3 feet taller than I am. And, I saw in the comments there was a smell. I don't have a particularly good sense of smell. I can't really smell anything to begin with. So if it did, I wouldn't know.
So he thought he saw a Bigfoot. I mean,
being able to see real far in advance. You know what I'm saying?
And you're 6'8"?
I am 6'8".
Good God, man. And you said this thing was a foot or so taller than you? That's crazy.
He was 2 or 3 feet taller than I was.
Holy.
I think it was closer to 10. My friend PJ believes closer to 9. So we go with the 2 to 3 feet.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it was taller. And we were 16, so I don't know if how well our judgment, especially at night, it was definitely taller.
Yeah, your judgment could be way off, which means that you're misjudging it by feet, right? Like a lot of feet. So this, obviously, this is some like, I saw this thing. I wasn't a Bigfooter. I was 16 years old. Like maybe that's legit.
Taller. In my opinion, it was.
But he's trying to say it was 10 to 12 feet tall. That's absurd.
There's this weird thing in the woods, and I've always been a huge fan of Sasquatch.
Huge fan.
It's a surprise to see humans as we were to see it, is my guess. And maybe there, like I said, maybe they very well could have been others around. I never would have known. And I doubt PJ would have either. We were scared out of our minds. This massive creature's there, and in the middle of the woods at night, it's a
at least
unusual. It's an unusual feeling. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, like I said, there could be more around. Somebody brought that up to me not too long ago, and said, "Well, how do you know they weren't watching you? They didn't want you to find them." And I said, I never thought about that. That's a really interesting point. That's very possible because I wouldn't have noticed. They, like I said, they could have been standing right next to me, and I would have noticed.
That kind of
I had to put that up there, Johnny.
Smile.
Yeah.
We both came, when it was only me, we did a sound check. Everybody said it sounded great. Brought in Ryan.
So he says that, and he did a smile, but to me, like, it was more of an uncomfortable smile. I mean, look at him now. He's still half-ass holding it there. I mean, I don't know, man. Like maybe the guy's talking about, something that he really, really felt happen. Where it was not a silly Bigfoot or Bigfoot on the brand kind of thing.
Spoke for a minute. Everybody sounded great. So give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see if you sound great.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. How we doing? Check, test. Oh
my God.
Said you're doing good. Yeah, gotta give it to
right.
Man. He's giving us a thumbs up on each person that came in. So
yeah, it's always my fault.
That was John Stewart. John, he was on the show.
Where are we at, guys?
Yeah. He used to be on Sasquatch Unredacted for a little while.
He's
gone now.
We have a missing episode now.
Just kidding, John.
When we're dead 20 years.
Okay, I mean, banter.
Standing there somewhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
But today I would have had cameras. I would have strung off the area. I would have had a magnifying glass. I would have put trail cameras up.
Good luck with that, man.
I would have had plaster ready to go. All sorts of stuff I would have done differently. I would have looked for areas where the branches are snapped off high, higher than I could reach. Things like that we didn't know to look for back then that I probably would have looked for now. So we didn't see any evidence of it the next day.
Off this guy.
But that's not to say it wasn't out there. We just didn't know what we were seeing or didn't know what we were looking for, and we just missed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we never saw anything like that before or since. That was the only time that happened.
So I'm getting an interesting read off this dude. which is not the usual kind of low hanging fruit that I'm used to. It's like there's something about him that seems genuine. And again, like I don't know what happened to this dude, or like I kind of got the gist of it there. And so did you. But I don't know, like he's one of these guys, that could be like forever corrupted, by the narrative. And but he doesn't come across as an attention seeker. Um and so that's what I'm trying to say, is that he doesn't come across as a attention seeker, which means there's something actually kind of genuine just about the way he's talking about things. Um that I'm just gonna have to say thumbs up. Like something about this guy is legit, more legit than most, which I know isn't saying a lot. What the fuck is going on? Okay. Sorry. Distracted. Um, isn't saying a lot, but to be fair and honest, in a hey, on the fly reaction, there's something about this guy that I find legit. So let's hear him talk a little more, and then we'll go back, look for other stuff.
And it was, at that point, I was already hooked to begin with, but then once you see it, then it's just endless questions going through my mind.
Oh, that never ends.
Yeah, like what how is this here? We've been told all the way through biology from fourth grade on that there are no apes or primates in North America.
Because
I'm pretty sure
because
I saw something.
it's not known that there
that
are.
says otherwise. So
like that's not
what
knowledge
else is out
to
there,
our species, man.
Why are they avoiding us so much? And frankly, if you look at how we treat each other, I would avoid us too.
Right. But encounters are the exact opposite of avoidance.
100%.
I don't blame them for that. That actually is probably the most significant sign of intelligence they possess, is they stay away from us. But
they don't.
It was just a lot of
evidently.
questions. Where do they come from? What are they doing? Why was it out there that night? Was it watching us? Most of the years, I've always just assumed that we stumbled upon it. It never actually occurred to me until somebody mentioned recently, are you sure you found it, or was it there because it had an idea that's where you guys were going to be, and it was trying to see what you were doing? Like, I never thought about that.
Right. But dude, you just said, you just went the whole, of course they would avoid us, that whole thing. And so again, contradiction, engaging or avoiding. The excusers will always say, well, they can pick and choose whatever's there to their advantage. And I disagree with that.
Well, but that's very possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they did see us out in the woods, and since no one had been around for a while, they got curious, and then there were other ones blending in, and that we just happened to see that one, and there could have been other ones around.
Speculation.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't even know where you.
It's
Richard,
I don't
you
know
hearing
what
the feedback
that
again?
night. It may not have been the Bigfoot.
I am.
That's
pretty bad. Do either one of y'all have a TV on? You said you got a fan on, right, Richard?
Yeah, I put it on low. It's one of those little fans about this big.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like when you put electronics too close together, almost, and then you start getting feedback. But I don't know, man. That's going to be rough. We can't get it fixed.
Oh.
Because almost every time we talk,
it's fucking technical issues.
That. My personal hypothesis is that they migrate around.
All right.
I suspect there's
All right. I'm just gonna let, I like this guy. I don't know his name. It's not in the box. There's something about this dude I like that doesn't put me off. It doesn't give me like serious red flags. So I'm just gonna let him talk for a minute, and then we'll move on. Just give me a second. Sorry. Okay. I'm annoyed by this. Now it's doing that to me. All right. All right. All right. All right, all right. Bah. All right. I'm just gonna do this.
Mute. See if that helps.
Yeah.
And then if we have a question, we'll just pop in with a question.
All right. Well, let's continue on, and fingers crossed. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone and my camera.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
All right. But I was trying to think about where I left off. I think something around the sightings in the area and things like that. My personal hypothesis is that they migrate around. I suspect there's cycles. I think that's part of the reason that they don't leave a trace is because they don't exhaust any food supply in one area. It seems like the sightings jump around. Taking Ohio, for example, we had out by Canton, there was a rash of sightings. And then over closer to Pennsylvania, on the other side of the state, there was a rash of sightings. And, we have a lot more now in the southern portion of the state. And that's mostly because this part of the state has been built up a lot over the last 30, 40 years. So it makes sense that they would be pushed. We have, I think you and I talked about it, Salt Fork State Park here, where it's one of the largest amounts of sightings in the country takes place here. And it's a massive park. It's huge. And there's also Hocking Hills State Park. There is Wayne National Forest down there. And everything in that area by Lower City, it's all, farmland, woods, things like that. So it's once you combine Wayne National Forest and you're into the hundreds of thousands of acres, that who knows the last time a human being has actually been
No, that
through one end to the
that
other,
is
all the
not
way.
a lot. So hundreds of thousands of acres is not that much. I mean, it can be. It depends on what it's attached to. When I say that's not that much, when he's talking about last time a human being, yeah, sure. I mean, you can have hundreds of thousands of acres ago. All right, there's some areas in there where like no person has been for a long time. But it's not that big of an area. It's 1,000 square miles, something like that.
Through the middle, you know what I mean? There's lakes back there in the national forest and things like that. So there's certainly plenty of places for them to hide. The southern part of the state, we also border West Virginia, so you have the Appalachians right there. The foothills of
There
the
you
Appalachians
go.
start in Ohio.
Yeah.
So it does seem like, but even down there, some years around Hocking Hills, you see a lot of sightings. Other years, you see more at Salt Fork. Salt Fork, for whatever reason, seems to have a continual stream of sightings. It is a massive park. You can start at one
cannot
end,
be trusted.
driving through the other, going about 55, 60. It'll take you a good half an hour or so. And then there's woods on both sides that go back for miles and miles. And then it also connects to other state-owned land and things like that. So it's endless down there. So I don't know. My suspicion is that over the years, the sightings, for example, where I am now, Lorain County, we have very few sightings. Years ago, there was not always the case, but Lorain County, up until about 2000, was much more rural. Then over the last 25 years, it's exploded everywhere with developments. So it would make sense to me why you would not see as many now as you did before.
Right.
And there's different local urban legends out here about where people used to see them often, things like that. But like I said, to me, it just seems like they're migrating. My guess is that the winter does not affect them the same way it affects us. I don't necessarily think they're migrating because of the weather in the way that we might do so. I think they're migrating to keep their anonymity, if you will. When you look at Wayne National Forest, Hocking Hills, and Salt Fork State Park, over a course of several years, there's plenty of areas for them to rotate through where they could make nests. Then they could then destroy those nests if they wanted to. They could
whatever a
easily
nest
disappear
is,
into the water. The wilderness is thick.
whatever that
There's
is.
no street lights. It's not necessarily a national quiet zone, but there you pretty much don't get any cell phone service in a lot of that area. So there's just no human presence around. So it makes sense that that's where people would see them, because there's still people. It's just not at the level it is now in other parts. So I think that's potentially why they're migrating that way. I don't think they go into West Virginia or Ohio from West Virginia because of the weather. I think it's more of a feeding ground. I also think they don't want to leave too much of a trace. Otherwise, we would end up finding them if they were, colonizing an area permanently. I think they're constantly on the move, and that's one of the reasons they have remained so elusive.
I'm a big.
So I generally agree with a lot of what he just said. Actually, there's some contradictions that you might could point out, but I generally agree. He's speaking to the elusiveness of it. The problem with that is that when you measure it up to the narrative, which says Bigfoot's everywhere all the time, so I don't know. He's fucking with the narrative, and maybe he doesn't realize that, like, hey, dude, like, you're supposed to be a good boy and play along with the narrative, but it sounds to me like he's just kind of giving his like honest opinion, right or wrong. It was articulated actually pretty well. Like, I'm sitting there the whole time listening to every word he's saying, going, trying to find the contradiction, and then realizing he's making a good statement. So, I would say go check this show out with Brian Goddard. um, and it's on Sasquatch Unredacted. I'm gonna give this thumbs up. A rare thumbs up. And so with that, I'm gonna go back and see what else we can find. Just real quick. I like that though. Like, I did. I like that guy. Like, he did not come across as an attention seeker or a kook. So there was some reasonableness to him and some emotional stability that was like quite obvious to me. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what he saw when he was 16. Who am I to say about that kind of shit where he's not a Bigfooter? But so I was not expecting that, actually. And that's the beauty of like doing these these on the fly things, man. It was like I don't know what to expect other than, what my brain builds up. And God, should I dip into this? Let's just I hate to ruin this because I'm like, I could do a whole video on this. And once I click on it, then I've seen it. And, then I had, okay, whatever. If I wanted to do like a whole video on this show, it's a problem. Because it's like, well, you've seen it. So let's touch on it. We'll touch on two things and then I'll wrap it up. And these might become their own videos.
I'm
assuming that you guys can see me. Am I correct? Because
she
for
doesn't
some
even know.
reason, there was no video, and there should have been. So that's always fun
some
to
kind of
start off
problem.
with. First off, but anyways, thank you
All right,
for
so what
coming
is
and for being here
Sasquatch
this
and
evening.
radium? So
And
this was like the
you guys,
Todd standing area,
and I can
and
smile.
I don't know why Wayne's not
I'm
here.
such a dork. I understand.
Not sure why Wayne's not here.
Quite the dork,
All right,
but
so
I have
let's
not
just
had
skip past the
teeth in my
banter.
Is healthy. I mean, you
Right.
can't believe everything every Joe Schmo tells you.
Really?
Exactly.
So
Really, Tiffany?
having that level of skepticism is healthy to do. Would you mind telling us
Yeah,
about
it
your
is. It's
first
healthy.
Bigfoot encounter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, back in, I'm not sure what year it was 18, somewhere around 18. My dad and I went on that hunting trip up in the Adirondacks. We ended up spending a couple nights out there. So like the last night we were there, we ended up kind of just trying to do like a little bit of a night hunt, like just before dusk or just before dark. So we got out there, we separated, and I found a spot off the trail that was kind of nice and open. It was kind of like a circle of trees. I sat on the edge of it hoping, because there was deer trails, there's fresh snow on the ground, maybe an inch or two, and there was fresh deer sign kind of going through there. So I felt coming through the woods and something big coming through the woods, like a bear. The Adirondacks are known for the bears. I thought something was coming in towards the clearing where I was, so I freaked out a little bit and I picked up my gun and I'm looking kind of through my scope, waiting for something to pop through the branches of the trees.
Remember, it's dark.
Nothing ever came through the trees. I never saw anything. The only thing I heard were big branches and like it sounded like trees being smashed apart and broken apart. Boom, bang, smash. And it sounded like it was right there. So I'm starting to shake because I'm like, okay, any second now something huge is going to come through that tree, or maybe it's like moose fighting or something like that. But I didn't hear any like knocking, like horns hitting each other or anything like that. So I'm starting to think, like, what is that? What's making that noise? Or, I don't hear any heavy breathing. I don't hear any grunting. I don't hear any footfalls. What could that be? What's going on over there? And then I heard the whoosh, bang, smash, whoosh, bang. And I was like, that's trees or branches being swung through the air. There's no wind or nothing. And hitting whatever it's hitting and breaking apart. And then I go, oh, I think I know what that is, but I'm too afraid to go over there and find out. And right about that point, my dad came running in behind me and he's looking at me and I'm ghost white. And he's like, what's that? What's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it stopped. And never saw anything. We never heard anything more after that.
Again, what is this all about? Like, what is the all smiles thing? If somebody could explain it to me, that'd be great. I don't get it. It's just like, it's like, I just got what I wanted out of you. This is great. This is great for my show. This is great for my show. It's like, it's such an obvious, like, yes. The cum shot. Like, this is what I was looking for. Sorry. Maybe that was inappropriate. But still, like, I don't get it, man. The smiles thing.
So we just decided to leave and we headed home. I'm pretty sure that night. And we never talked.
And dude, like, so what he just described was a big giant nothing burger. It might have seemed like that at the time. The crunching, the bang, whatever, bing, bang, boom, bow. Never saw what it was. Don't know what it was. So you don't know what happened. But yet you're coming out of it and just ready to like regurgitate that out into the Bigfoot community as a Bigfoot event. Yet you don't even know what happened to you. You saw nothing. You thought it might be this. You thought it might be that. You never saw anything. You never got to the bottom of it. You just scooted out and never knew, never know. Yet I'm going to go on a Bigfoot show and say it was Bigfoot.
My dad and I are very, very close. I've said this a lot in my podcast. He's, the person that I can go to for anything, any reason. If I have any problems in life, I can just ask him and he'll give me a straight shot answer. And him and I have always been super, super close like that. We didn't talk about it, which is weird. We never did. Couple years later, I sat down and I watched Todd Standing's documentary, Finding Bigfoot.
Oh boy.
And I watched it was like 3 hours. I watched the whole thing. My dad got home from work and I was like, Dad, watch this. So he sat down. I rewatched it again with my dad. And when it was over, I looked at him and like, you remember that time in the Adirondacks? And he's like, you don't have to say anymore. I know what you're talking about. And I think so too. I was like, all right, fair enough. I guess that was the first.
And that means it was Bigfoot because son and dad had a heartfelt moment of nodding their heads. And like a movie scene, just like the movies, we play our last scene again. Like people, this is a people thing, and there's Tiffany agreeing. She's all smiles. What a heartwarming moment between you and your father. And that's all good. I'm not criticizing that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But to come to a Bigfoot YouTube channel and try and pass off to me, the viewer, that it was a Bigfoot that you dealt with that night is absurd. That's the bottom line. Like, no. That's a whole lot of connecting dots, man. All right, so we'll get away from this.
And where I'm from, up in the Catskills in New York, there's not much of that stuff going on. You hear some old stories back in the day, but there's really no sign or anything like that. So it was close to home.
Others would disagree.
That
There's
I was like into the books and into the shows, into the movies and stuff.
There's tons of Bigfoot activity in the Catskills, even just like south of the Catskills into the flatlands. That's where they saw the Bigfoot in the tree. That was a pet monkey from that video that was recorded in the 90s or whatever. Like, that was south of the Catskills. Like, there's Bigfoot everywhere. Just ask Steve Coles. Bigfoot's everywhere in the Catskills.
Like that. But not to where I could just go out in my backyard and learn about it and try to invoke something like that.
That's so good.
Unfortunately, I had to travel a little bit to get my other encounters to happen, but they were well worth the flight.
Well, that's awesome. And let's get into some of these pictures because
I'll just mute this. So travel, he's talking about going to Radium, and so that's where Bigfoot is. Like, that's easy to find. It's easy to find Bigfoot in Radium. Yet, here he is on a YouTube channel, not a multimillionaire because he didn't discover Bigfoot. But if Bigfoot's easy to find in Radium, it seems like discovery would be the next logical step. Not YouTube documentary or even fucking Netflix documentary. Like, real discovery. The fucking documentary will come with that. Like, you don't have to worry about that, like we could Tiger King that shit, right? Like, we could do an after the fact. I don't know.
And there's one that's directly on the other side of the trail, right to my back. That's 10 feet off the trail, same as this one, but it's pointed the opposite direction, but it's the same exact height. And
so that's just all nonsense. That's, reading into broken trees and like applying that to Bigfoot. Absolutely nonsense. Okay, so that was interesting. I said I would touch on it. I did. I don't even know that that's worth doing a whole video on. I think I kind of Covered a few bases. So now what? Now what? I don't really know. I think we're done. We're done. All right. I'll jump into this. Like I've been like as this popped up. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's tease it. I'll jump into it, jump into the middle of it, and I'll give it 2 minutes. This is a 1 hour plus show, 1 hour and change, 107. I'll jump into the middle, give it 2 minutes, and I will let it go for the full 2 minutes. All right. Here is where I'll jump.
We go on to our 1 to 2 minute break. It is your question now, so over to you, my friend.
Oh, awesome. So, Kaylin, my question will go to you. Any experiences you've had that are squatchy, I would love to know that. And I would love to know what advice you would give as a kid and as a mentor in the space to other kids, you know? Like, what would you say to other people about getting out there and becoming a Bigfooter, or more importantly, just becoming one with nature? What's your advice from your lens?
He doesn't know how
Okay,
to
bravo.
do that.
That was probably a better answer than Mike, Caitlin. Don't worry about it.
Go in the woods. That's a good answer.
Well, then,
go in the woods.
let me go in for a second. Like, Kaylin, when we were out with you, and we've only gone out a couple times, when we went out and you spotted that little baby alligator, and I was looking, I scanned the pond. You spotted it so quickly.
Okay. Yep. I'm backing out real quick. So, kids show. I mean, it is the young generation. So now, like, it's a cutesy thing to involve kids with Bigfoot, and then like throw them on camera, on a live stream, and make them like answer questions about Bigfoot, like with like somewhat articulate questions that kids don't really understand. That's disturbing. I say keep kids out of Bigfoot. Keep kids out of Bigfoot. Like, keep kids out of driver's licenses. Keep kids out of voting. Keep kids out of a lot of things that adults do. Leave the Bigfooting to the adult childlike imagination. Fair enough. But keep kids out of except for what we do, right? Is that we scare them around campfires with stories, like that whole thing. That's all legit. But like, they don't need to be on podcasts answering questions. Like, oh my God, that's so bad. I'm sorry, that's bad. I did what I said. I said, hey, I'm gonna throw it right in the middle of the show and see what the fuck I get, and that's what I got. Little kids answering questions about Bigfoot. Very scary, actually. And so look at all this. It's just more and more and more. There's things here that are not Bigfoot related, of course. It's all right, man. Except for the one dude. The one dude I gave a thumbs up on unredacted. Thumbs up to unredacted. I'm gonna say thumbs down to everything else, especially that last one. And I don't know, man. Again, I thought about like maybe I'll do a live where again I let the feed build up and do a random hey, let's just, maybe give chat a vote or something. But I wanted to try this first. I wanted to actually record it first and kind of see how it plays out that way. And then like before I think about doing it live. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, yeah, that's all I got. That was a lot to absorb, actually. But